So, warm welcome everyone. Thank you. So, let me start our session right now. So, as I discussed along with yesterday, so a few things about cloud computing, what is cloud computing, and the benefits and the use cases, and also discuss about how you can launch an instances and also we have seen that how AWS, what you say, they used to have their global infrastructure, and that we have discussed about the regions and availability zones. So today we are going to see day number 2. So today we're going to see about how to connect, how to manage AWS instances via CLI. So that will be today agenda. So most probably, as I discussed with you yesterday, that today I'm going to show you how to manage this AWS management console via CLI. So because you see, you may be from you may have some background of Linux or maybe not. So if those people are having the background of Linux, for them it is very easy to understand about how to manage EC2 instances in CLI, and on how to make use of those CLI commands to manage launch instance, stop the instances, and terminate instances, and launch the instances. So that's the thing we have. I'm going to show the first topic. I'm going to show about getting started with AWS CLI. When we talk about CLI, I can say that CLI is the most powerful console as we have in any, I can say any environment. So maybe suppose I'm in Windows, I should go for PowerShell. If I'm in Linux, I should go for terminal, bash scripting, and etc. So AWS CLI, it's a console where you can able to manage all the AWS packages. So there's AWS tools that is inbuilt inside in Linux as well as in Windows. And today I'm going to show you how to manage AWS CLI in Linux as well as in Microsoft Windows operating systems. And moreover, we have to understand the CLI in proper way, because in order to get connected with AWS CLI, we should have Python. I can say the pip file, the Python scripting file we should have, and I'm going to teach you how to do that, how to connect a Python scripting file inside AWS CLI. So today I'm going to show you how to manage AWS via Linux, and I'm going to teach you how to manage AWS via Windows. So this is first of all, if you see how it is managed in Linux as well as in Windows, because you may be many people have tried how to manage AWS in Linux, AWS CLI in Linux as well as in Windows. When it come to this screen is called AWS Management Console. But I can say that AWS Management Console is very, as I told yesterday, is a basic level of users can able to access this. If you ask me that AWS Management Console, I can say that because here those users does not have any knowledge of programming, any knowledge of SDK, or any knowledge of CLI. Those people can come inside in this AWS Management Console. This is a graphical management console where they can interact with a lot of services. And see, we are going to look more closely at the different AWS mechanisms. And here you can see. First of all, when I'm signing my user credentials with the proper username password, and that may be paid account or federated login, or maybe a free account. So when I sign inside this one, so see, this is a dashboard. What we have here, this is a AWS dashboard, and it is pretty straightforward. you can see that a lot of things is going on. As I told, we have the name of the account holder, and you can see their account details and billing dashboards and security credentials. And this is the regions that the user belongs to, and it show that where you will be currently be operating. In our case, we are in United East North Virginia. So just remember, you can change these regions as when you require. So feel free to change as per as your current global presence. So as I told yesterday about regions, right? So I think you remember. So here you can see compared to other regions, which region is one of the most cheapest region, and which region support all the services in this AWS Management Console is something called US East North Virginia. So this will be this. I can say that this is the region which is running as cheapest cost. And compared to other region, this is the region which is low cost and supports all types of services we have. So that's why most of the people like this region. And AWS has started their infrastructure. First of all, they started the infrastructure in US East North Virginia region. After that, they have expanded their global infrastructure one by one across different regions. Here you can see that we have a lot of things going on here. You can go to support. You can see you can have counter support center, and also we have forms. See, actually you can see also we have some help files, documentations, and other things. When it comes to this resource groups, because this resource groups nothing but because these are the collections of AWS resources groups as customized console, where you and end user can give all the required information about various AWS services in single pane. So that's why you can create your own resource groups here. And creating own resource groups, it gives us it gives you that you can able to customize the console, and you can keep it that one. Okay, so that's why. So this resource group. So because these all things are available when we are connecting in AWS Management Console. So here you can see that when we look closely in this management console, we have different types of. So you can see the services history, and you can go for services. This is recently visited services and all services and etc. So this is a fitting. So what is it? This management console is fit for all conditions, and that is why. So do you think that people's coming from different backgrounds, like I'm from Linux background, or my friend coming from Windows background, they are capable of my friend who is a Linux background, so he may be he doesn't like this management console because he wants to go something via AWS CLI. So AWS CLI is the one that it is a good time for you to understand that what is AWS CLI, because you may be heard a lot about CLI, like command line interface. They are not user friendly. They are very hard to configure, implement. If something goes like this, but you know who is real administrator? Who have the full depth of knowledge of CLI. And I can say that you can using CLI, you can automate and the deployment and management of your AWS services with simple code and script, much like how you would use a bash and shell scripting. So this CLI provides you with a lot of flexibility and customizability that a standard GUI simply won't provide. So that's why this simply GUI won't provide. So that's why AWS CLI can be either installed on Windows as well as Linux machines. So in case of Windows, AWS provides an easy to use installer, which can be downloaded directly from AWS site. I will show you. So once downloaded, all you need to do is to run the installer, and your Windows server should have CLI installed and ready to use. So in case of Linux, it's not same procedure, because in case of Linux, is something different procedure. So let me show you the work on steps, then how to connect AWS CLI inside my Linux machines. So I go to my EC2 instance. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to launch Amazon AMI Linux. So go to launch instance and this Amazon AMI Linux. I'm going to launch here. And let me select instance type. And this is instance details. I'll click add storages. Let me increase storages. So This is 30 GB storages, and let's add tags. And let me preview and launch it. So let me have key pair. So we are testing and then launch instances. So now I have launched AMI Linux instance inside AWS. Okay, so I have launched, and now I'm going to connect with this footage. So I have in order to connect Linux inside your machines, inside your physical machine, you should have two applications. That is, PuTTY or PuTTY Keygen should be available inside your physical machine. It is easy for you to download those applications. You can go to google.com and you can have just type download PuTTY. And you can go there where you can have SSH clients. Go to click here, and in this site you can able to see there a lot of things was going on, and you can download this 2 files 64-bit as I have downloaded already in my system. So you can see I have PuTTY and PuTTY Keygen already installed. Okay, so when I click on connect button, AWS will give you a list of steps that how to connect your instance in proper way. And if I have Java based browser, so if you have Java base, I can click on that one. For that I need to have proper plugin to launch the particular instance. And just remember that because most of the browsers they never support a Java based SSH client. You can see my browser, this is Google Chrome, that does not support the plugins. This means I should go for Mozilla Firefox, or maybe Microsoft Internet Explorer, or Opera, or Safari, or maybe Picasa. So let me connect with this instance here with my name, with my file name testing. How to do that? Just go. It's very simple to do. First of all, I'm going for my PuTTY Keygen. So I need to decrypt that file, and I'm going to save as a private key. So load that file. So it will be almost stored that file inside my downloads. Yeah, this is a testing, and it is successfully imported the key, and now save as a private key, and then go to desktop and just save as any name. Testing, you can save it. You can see here I got that testing PuTTY, that is a key generator for us. So now in order to launch, go to PuTTY, and this is a desktop app that what I have here, and you can click on that one. Go to SSH, and this is secure socket host, and this is the most this SSH protocol runs on TCP port number 22, and this is a default protocol for Linux machines to access the particular connection via terminal. So go to authentication and paste this file there. So go to testing and paste it. Now go to sessions, and this is asking the host name as IP address runs on port number 22. So go there and copy this endpoint, and this endpoint is something consists of public IP as well as the DNS. So let's copy and paste it there. Just save the sessions here. Just save the session, because once again you have lost some connection, means it's out, where you saved the last session you can able to start. So click open. You can see here I'm getting PuTTY security alerts, and then click yes. Yes, so he's asking me login as. So I'm going to log in as ec2/user. Yes, so I see I just got connected with my Amazon AMI Linux. This is how you connect with AWS Linux. And just remember that this is easy for us to do that via PuTTY application. But in case of Microsoft Windows operating system, there is no need to break your head on this PuTTY on PuTTY key generator, because AWS itself they given the RDP connection that runs on port number 3389, where you can able to launch the instance. Okay, so this is how I launched my instance. So now you can see that I'm expanded the window. And now you can see that I don't have any proper rights for me to say launch and control an instance, or I don't have proper permissions to do, because I'm not a root user. So first of all, we have to understand we have two types of users, manage users in this operating systems. When it comes to root is the one, uh, he's, I can say he is the administrator in Linux. So just like what we have in administrator in Windows. So he got full rights. So he got full rights in the systems. And apart from that, other users does not have any rights because they are considered as a non-root. And this is in case of a Linux machine. Suppose I am started. So this is for root. And in case of Windows machines, as we know that we have an administrator, and this is and he got the full right permission and just to access anything in the system. So this is the general, because everyone knows that Linux root and administrator. So here right now I'm not a root user here. So I have logged in as EC2 user. So EC2 user is not a root user. He's an ordinary user. So he never got any permission to launch a CLI and to install Python scripts and all. So what I have to do, I need to log in as a root. So how to log in as a root? That's the question here, and it's very simple to do that. So for that, see, you want to take root permission from this user, EC2 user. You have to type sudo. This is a command, and first of all, let me change the password for the root for the root account. So now you can see he's asking me to change the password. Let me change the password, and I have successfully updated the password. Now what I have to do, I need to get inside the root. So by switching user of EC2. So what I'm going to switch user. Su is a command that switching the user to root. So here now I can see I came as a root user. So this is how you take the total control of the system by having this hands-on command. So this is because if you're coming from Linux background, it is very easy for you to do this task. If you're not coming from Linux background, that it is very difficult for you to understand from this point of view. So this does not mean that this is a basic task. What are things I've done? It's a basic task. It is not a huge task that you're thinking. It's a basic task. How to say log in as a root, as I'm logged as a non-root user. So right now I have logged into use. Just my clear the screen. So now I got the full permission inside the system that I can do anything inside that. Suppose I want to update the kernel of Linux, so what of this operating system. So you can see I can go for an update kernel, and you can see that my AWS automatically gives the proper repository files for this operating system to download and access the kernel from my let's say backend server. So because why I'm showing this one, because I got full rights inside the system, so that I can able to update my kernel, I can able to run LO-doc updater, I can run RPA packages, and I can able to install Apache servers, anything I can able to do here. Okay. So now clear this. Okay, now it's time. Now the thing is how you are going to manage AWS inside Linux. So that's the fundamental things, as I told. How to manage AWS Linux. So now I have launched the Linux machine inside AWS. So here the machine name is Amazon AMI Linux. So this Amazon AMI Linux is a wonderful operating system, you know, compared to normal Linux operating system like Red Hat Enterprise Linux number 7 or CentOS or Ubuntu, or maybe any type of Fedora. So this AMI Linux is wonderful operating system because this is direct from AWS. So AWS has created the self Linux operating system. There's something called AMI Linux. Okay, come back to this console, and I just now I'm going to install the Python version because in this AMI Linux and AWS they're going to support. See, actually. Because now what I'm going to do, I'm going to download the Python files for this AMI Linux for AWS CLI. See here, because the Linux operating system, the Linux distribution can be anything from Debian, such Ubuntu, Red Hat system, so long as it's Python installed and running of the latest version. So Python version supported by Python 2 version 2.6.5. So that's a version, and we have Python 3, version 3.3 and above. So as I have came already as a root user, because I have to get the full privileges and install, execute the command. So make sure that you have proper user already created on your Linux machines. Okay, so the installation of the CLI involves two major steps. First, it involves the installation of Python setup tools, which is I can say the prerequisite of installing Python's pip file. Now I'm going to do that. So first, let me have this file, that is wget. See, this wget is a command that you can get it anything from the web. So let me do that here. So it has this Python. So I'm going to download the package from there. So I'm just having this URL. So you can see wget has cdps pypf.python.org packages source / setup tools, and let me run those setup tools version 7.0 and dot. I'm going to extract that one with zip. So you can see, yeah. So you can see I have successfully downloaded the setup tools tar file from Python source repository. Now I'm going to untar. Untar means I'm going to decompress those file, and this for Linux machines to decompress that one we have to tar, and I'm going to for setup tools and 7.0, that's the version .gz. Yeah, you can see it is extracted successfully, and now you can see this here, cd setup tools. So now I'm going to see what's the contents of tar file extracted. Yeah, I'm going to change the directory to the setup tools directory. So how to do that? So go to 7.0, and here you can see the setup. Go to check ls. Ls is a command is to give you the complete details. What are the things is there inside that directory setup.tools. So here we have setup.py. This is the one file I'm looking for. This one here, setup.py, and via this I'm going to finally install the setup tools package. So here I'm going to install Python. I'm going to setup.py.install. Okay, let me check up. Yep, so I given dot, not dot. Yeah, we can see it is installed. So now I have successfully installed the Python repository packages inside my Linux machine. So the first part of installation process is completed. The next process is next I'm going to tell you very simple steps as well. Now we have installed the Python pip packages. Python pip is generally recommended package when installing Python packages. So how to do that? So what are things I've done here? First of all, I have downloaded the files, I have extracted, and then what I did, I have extracted the file and I have installed inside this one. Now what I am going to do, I'm going to download the Python pip installer script for Python repo. Just hold them, just hold them, just hold them.
Hello. Cannot listen. Is there any problem? Hi Paul, are you there? Cannot listen now.
Thank you so much for holding down. Just thank you so much. So these steps I will be posting you on this notepad. So no need to worry that you can step by step you can go and you can able to configure by yourself. Okay, let me continue this one. So I have now what I done. I have so the first part is completed. Now I'm going to, as I told, I'm going to download the Python pip installer and install straight from Python repo. So let me do that here. So for that, I'm going to use wget. It's a command that I'm going to do HTTPS. So for that, we need to go for the bootstrap, and this is the file. That this is the file where we are going to do that. And let me install it. It's fine. Yeah, it is successfully installed. You can see it is resolved. Now it's time for me to install the pip packages. And so I'm going to get the pip packages here and .py. Yeah. So yeah, it's a successful install. You can see this is how that you're going to install those packages, and this is successfully those things which is founded, which is not founded. And now it is time for me to once the pip is installed, because if I have existing version Python 6.1, then it's not going to be updated. So first of all, I'm going to have AWS CLI. So when I have this one, you can see I have already the requirement already satisfied for me to launch the AWS. Now it is time for me to check the AWS version. So when I have AWS version, yes, you can see AWS version CLI is connected with this as 1.11.83 and Python version 2.7.12, and this is how I have connected. This is called AWS version, and this is how I have connected with my AWS. Now it's time for me to operate AWS CLI. I'm going to apply. Now, going to show me examples that how to launch or to say how to stop an instance from here. So see already if I go to my here, suppose let me launch one more instance here. Suppose I'm launching Microsoft Windows Server 2016. Let me launch it. Let me see to Windows and relaunch it. Yeah. So I have successfully launched. So now I'm going to show you one demonstration that how to stop the instance, how to start the instance from here AWS Linux CLI. So it is very easy to maintain those things. Let me clear it. Because the Python is a language that is highly dedicated language for cloud computing. because we have a lot of language like JSON, we have JavaScript, or we have languages called .NET, AngularJS, or maybe Node.js. All those kinds of languages we have available. But in that one, I can say that Python is the most effective one. So here that instance is now starts running. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy this instance ID. So when I click this one, you can see, just copy this instance ID, and I'm going to paste it here. Yeah, so I'm going to paste it here. So this is my Windows instance that I launched here. That's the instance ID. I'm going to click here. This is very easy to do that. So suppose you want to see all the instances which are running here. So I'm going to have AWS EC2 describe, and then we have instances, and then you have one more. You can able to see that, yeah, okay. I have left AWS. So here you can see, because now what my AWS tells me, that you can see you must specify the region. You have to configure your region by running AWS configure. Yeah, so I have to go for this AWS configure. Yeah, so when I type AWS configure, you can able to see here, he's asking my access ID key and shared secret key. So in order to connect AWS via CLI, you need to have two set of encryption keys that is available in your AWS console. Let me do. Now the question is where you get those keys. Okay, go to your account and go to my security credentials. Click on that. It will take to identity access management, where you can able to download those keys. Secure access keys. Here you can see create a new access key, issue access key, and copy this access key. And just remember, these access keys are or it's a secured one. So showing to other users, it's not good one. So just copy this one and paste it in your notepad. Yeah, so I have pasted here. Okay, so let me go to here and just copy this one, and this is called access ID key. Now it's asking access ID key, and just paste it here. So next you're asking AWS secret access key. Where is that? Here, the AWS secret access key, and just copy this one and just paste it here. Yeah. So now you can see it's asking me default region. So let me check which region we are in. So I'm in globally. Okay. So let me go to Amazon EC2 instance. So I check I'm in United States North Virgin region. I'm in US West 1C. So here I need to give the region US West 1, right? So here, but don't give the availability zone name. Instead of that, you need to give the region. So click on this one. Yeah. So yeah. So now I have connected. Now if you run this command, so AWS EC2 describe, you can able to see that my Linux machine is describing about all the instances in format of Python script. You can see, I can see that more instances informations that he is pulling up for me from that management console. Here you can see there's you can see the instance name and what is the public DNS. You can see Windows, what platform it is running, which condition it is in, and what type of optimization it is in. So everything he's used to show in this format, CLI. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop an instance from here. That will be interesting to see. So how to stop that instance from here? So let me do that. This is a basic commands, EC2. And I'm going to have stop instances. So let me go to type instance and go IDs. Okay, so what I have to do, I have to copy this ID that I already copied from Microsoft Windows. You can see this is the Microsoft Windows instance ID. Just copy it from here and just paste it here. So when I click enter, you can able to see it is now when I'm going to click on refresh button. it is stopping. You can see here, it is stopping. This is how you're writing a script or maybe connecting via Python, CLI, can able to do those things. You can see that instance is currently stopping. So what I've done here, this is showing currently running. So I have stopped the instance, but just instead of name, you have to give the instance ID. So that's why you can see, if you can see, it is stopping the instance. So this is how AWS has given a set of tools for user to operate in CLI, and they can able to do anything by writing a script, automated script, and they can able to connect the instance, launch the instance, terminate the instance, and all. So as you can see, it is stopped. Let me start the instance again from here. So this is simple command. Instead of that stop, I need to give a start. So yeah, so you can see now my instance is stop state. When I go to here refresh, you can see now it is in running state. So this is how you manage, this is how you install the Python tools inside my AWS, to say inside a Linux, and you are just doing all those kinds of stuffs. So this is how you must, and now the question now comes here, how to manage CLI in my Windows machines. So that's also very pretty, it is easy to do that. So you can see this running. So let me show that also here. So before going that, so let me give you the commands. What are the commands that I have posted on AMI Linux? Because in case of you got any doubts, because you can do those references, right? So I will be posting you those things here. So first of all, because what I done, I have went to wget. Wget is the one. Is a file. It's used to pull the information from that particular location. So I go for PA and let's go for the Python, and this is a site where I have downloaded the packages for that. So you can see sources, yes, and we have setup tools, and then what I done, I have downloaded the setup tools version is 7.0 dot star, and I have this file. So after that, I have extracted that file by having this file cf and setup tools, and then I have extracted that file 7.0 dot tar dot. The second step, then order, then I have done those processes. So I have gone to setup tools, and I have given the setup tools. So 7.0. Once I get setup tools, now I have started to install the setup file for Python, and that's comes out Python setup.py. That's the file I'm talking about, and I have given the install. So after that, I have then after finishing the first step process, second step process, again I go for HTTPS, and then we have to go for Bootstrap. So got PYPA, and I go and that get, I can say pip.py, and after finishing this, you can go this one. And after the steps, I have installed AWS CLI. This is the tools that we have. After finishing all those things, so I will check the version of that AWS version and Python version is there. After that, you need to connect with this command AWS configure, and just after that, as I said, give access ID key and share secret key. So I have already told where you got those things, and after that give your default region name, and once you've done it, you are connected. So this is how. So this is how you connect with this one. So that's why. So this is some steps that I told you to manage CLI So that we have done. So the next question is how to manage AWS via Windows. It's that's why, see, in Windows you cannot go all those you cannot run behind all those steps. Okay, so this is very fundamentally we can understand AWS has released a few installation packages. So what we have here, you can see, in order to do that, you can go for google.com. So you can download AWS tools for Windows. So here you can type tool for Windows. There are two types of tools available: AWS CLI tools for Windows and AWS PowerShell tools for Windows. So you can see set up AWS tools. I can go here, and I will be downloading that one. AWS tool for Windows. So that will be there. So you can see this is download install AWS tools for PowerShell. Otherwise, if you don't want that one, go to AWS CLI tools for Windows. It will take you CLI process. You can see you can download 64-bit title bit. Already I have installed inside my machines, so no need to install it back. So if you don't have you can install it from this link, and you can be connected. So I have already installed. So now, in order to get connected, so go for CMD. So I'm going to configure AWS configure. When I type AWS configure here, he will be asking me the same thing: new access ID key and shared secret key. Just repeat this one, same one, because AWS will not generate again because the access key and shared access key, because AWS will rotate the keys. What you say, based on the users, based on those. There's something called rotation of keys in AWS that happens. And just type this one. This is a secret access key. And here, yes. So I am in default region. So yours is one. So no problems. Yes. So this is how I came inside. So if you want to get help of that EC2 instance here, just type MS AWS EC2 and just a question mark. You can see here how many help files are available for you to manage and configure those EC2 instances inside my AWS Windows CLI, and also available for my Linux CLI. So same as that, how I done those process works here. So let me show that. Suppose I want to suppose again I'm going to show what this. Suppose I want to stop the instance. This is Windows instance. I want to stop it. So I need to have this one, and I will go for the same command, AWS EC2. And suppose you want to check about the instances. Go to describe, and then instances, and then click more. Yeah, you can see it will be describing about the instances. Yes, as you already seen in the same in AMI Linux. You can see it's describing everything about the particular instances, and that's why. So you can able to have it. And here same things you can able to start and stop the instances. AWS EC2, and suppose I'm going to stop the instances. Stop the instances, and I'm going to go instance ID. So let me paste it here and press enter. You can see here it will be stopped. And go here, you can see it is stopped. This is the same way as we have done in our Linux machine. So this is the same way I'm doing it for Windows. So this is how you can see the AWS tools, how much effective this is. You can describe, you can start, you can stop. You want to terminate the instance also, you can just terminate the instance from here. Just type terminate, and it will be terminating the instances from my AWS management console, EC2 management console. So now it is stopping. Okay, so let him stop completely. So that's why if you start working with CLI, so it will be more effective for you to manage this console almost anywhere. So, okay, let me terminate the instance. You can see now, given the terminate the instances, and you can see now it's going to be terminated. You can see this is shutting down, and this instance is going to be terminated from AWS management console. You can see it's terminated. So how easy it is to manage those instances inside in my Windows as well as inside my Linux machines. So this is how you have fun. So there is no great work for you to come under Windows and you manage those instances. But you need to put some efforts because Python is already there when the repository files that I've downloaded, because AWS also already given the Python's files inside this one. And this is how. And moreover, you can able to connect PowerShell. So suppose you have PowerShell inside your Windows operating systems, you can connect this. You can see the PowerShell for AWS, where you can able to run all those commands inside this. And this is the console. This is specifically designed for AWS. So because I have not downloaded this PowerShell for AWS, so we have two types of PowerShell. The one is CLI and one is PowerShell, and one is PowerShell for AWS. So right now, if we want to see the normal PowerShell, so I will show you. You want to see the normal PowerShell, so go to PowerShell, and yeah, this is one. This is a non-PowerShell, so that how you can connect this one, and just type same one AWS configure. Yeah, you can see here ASCII access ID key and those secret keys, same as that what we have done in this CLI. So this is how you connect and manage your CLI tools. And this is one example I told. You can take this concept is in great way. You can take this automation, or you can take to learn all the CLI tools that what AWS have for Linux and Windows. So this is how you manage those things. I hope you understand that. And next we are going to understand the next concept is that security and cloud. Okay, so that's the next concept that we are going to see. Security and cloud. So because why I am putting a lot of efforts on security and cloud, because you people you should understand that this is as yesterday itself I told AWS is really secure. If someone asks what you have to do. So now this also one more concept that is important for you to understand about security and cloud. So by default, I can say AWS is secure. By default, AWS secure. So that there is no in any pinhole conjecture, and we are not getting anything. What to say? We have not received any complaints up to this that AWS is really like AWS is not secure. We have a lot of vulnerabilities or something such thing like this. We know to understand the security and clouds, because security is a core requirement for any application, whether I can say it is hosted on-premises data center or cloud such as AWS, and it is a fundamental service that protect our applications and data from a variety of cyber attacks, security breaches, accidental, deliberately data thefts, and much more. And I can say today modern cloud computing like AWS offers security in a very similar way as we have security in our traditional private data center. I can say that the only difference is that in our traditional private data center we would have to deal with the complexities and cost of the securing the hardware, whereas on the cloud this task is performed by cloud provider. That's a difference, and this difference not only saves or overhead costs that every organization has to bear, but also reduces the time and effort it takes to monitor and protect all those resources. So that's why. So I can say that because AWS give different types of security. So first of all, they give physical data center security. Physical data center security, and then they give virtualization and operating system security, and then we have regularity compliances. So this is, I can say that AWS will provide you physical data center security or virtualization OS security. Yes, because the first preferences goes to physical data center. Do you think that AWS is as I'm talking, everything is running on remote location? So this does not mean that AWS does not have their own data center. AWS have their own data center. That's something splitted, something called availability zone. So, right? So can you go to issue dashboard? As I told yesterday, we saw the availability zone like US East 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D, 1E. One of this all the availability zone. Rather than we can refer this as a private data centers. And this I can say that AWS first of all used to give the physical data center security because the AWS infrastructure, which includes the data centers and physical hardware and networks, it is designed and managed according to the security best practices and compliance guides. And the data centers, like this, as I told, this all the data centers themselves are hosted at non-disclosed locations, and entry inside them is strictly controlled, managed, and logged and audited on regular basis. So that is why AWS, I can say, first of all, they is really secure when they come to physical data center security. When they come to virtualizations and OS security, because AWS, what they do, AWS regularly patches and updates virtualization and operating system against variety of attacks, like a man-in-the-middle attacks, then DDoS attacks, then sniffing attacks, and I can say the masquerading and etc. So these types of attacks will not come inside AWS network because they provide virtualizations and OS security. And apart from that, AWS, as I told, AWS has got regularity compliances because the AWS infrastructure is certified against security and data protection in accordance with the various industry and government requirements. So that's why, as I told yesterday about when I showed that URL that AWS is really secure. So you can go for this URL in AWS has been a joint. AWS has joined with many committees that comes under the compliances. So that's why, as I told yesterday, when I go to type HTTP here and amazon.com/security, it will take AWS Cloud Security, and AWS has joined hand with these compliances. You can able to see here, and this is certification attestation. So you can see different types of standards that AWS has got. Here we can see. And you can see the alignments and frameworks, different types of things as code. This certificate tells us that AWS is really secure. And moreover, if someone asks you, you have any proof that AWS is really secure? See, actually, yes, I can say that AWS is really secure because AWS has not got any security leakages up to from the since. They're running their services up to 2017 year. The main agenda to understand here whether on-premise, whether you're running information in your private data center or whether you are putting information inside AWS. So information security is a paramount importance to organizations running critical workloads. That everyone understands because security is a core fundamental requirement that protect mission critical information for accidental, asset or deliberately theft or leakage, something. So helping to protect the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of systems and data is the utmost important to AWS, and it's maintaining your trust and confidence. So that's why. So I'm going to talk depth about security inside AWS. See, I can say that because cloud security at AWS, today who is the top #1 priority for AWS in the cloud? Is AWS. So because come to cloud security, AWS has got the top #1 priority because all AWS end user get the benefit from data centers and network architecture built to satisfy the requirement of most security sensitive organizations. So as I told, AWS has connected with the partners. And who was the partners? These are the partners because AWS and its partners offer hundreds of tools and features to help organizations to meet their security objective and visibility, auditability, controllability, and also the agility. This means that organizations can have security they need, but without the capital outlay and with, I can say, with much lower operation overhead than in on-premises environment. So that's why see AWS putting everything 100%, and they are because here everything under monitoring, because as I told that because organizations depends on cloud, so depends on AWS, and AWS, we're able to say they have different AWS, a different policy, architecture, and operational process to build to satisfy the requirements of, I can say, security sensitive users, because the AWS infrastructure has been designed to provide highest availability while putting strong safeguards in place regarding your privacy, end user privacy and segregation. When deploying system on AWS cloud computing platform, so AWS helps by sharing, and I can say the sharing the security responsibility with an organization. AWS manage the underlying infrastructure, and organizations can secure anything it deploys on AWS. This offers each organizations the flexibility and agility they need in security controls. And that's why the, so like this the infrastructure is built, because this infrastructure is built and managed not only according to security best practices and standards, but also with the unique needs of cloud in mind. So AWS, they use redundant and layer controls, continuous validation, testing, and I can say substantial amount of automation to ensure that underlying infrastructure is monitored and protected by 24/7. And AWS ensure that these controls are consistently applied in every new data center or services that may be launching in different regions. So this is how, by keeping all those things, we can say AWS is really secure, and AWS has reached a high level of position because they have assurance program by connected with these third party attestations, as you're looking in the screen right now. So that's why. So next I'm going to discuss about, I hope you understand this one, about Amazon EC2. So next I'm going to 40 minutes I'm going to discuss about Amazon EC2, and see, you should know about what is EC2. This is Elastic Compute Cloud, and don't think that that is actually very normal console, because Amazon EC2 had got the top #1 priority for manipulations of workloads of compute burst computing capacity. And Amazon EC2, this is the console, is really the wonderful console what we have Amazon EC2, that other cloud vendor cannot match him, because you can see how much of processing power he maintains inside. So that's really amazing for us to understand and think about him, because everything from launching instance, from everything from terminating instance, changing instance type, and also security groups, everything has been done by Amazon EC2. And EC2 is a major primary console for AWS. And since AWS has not stopped delivering these services from since in the year of 2006, I can say, because EC2, I can say Amazon EC2. Amazon EC2 is a service that basically provides scalable compute capacity on demand, pay-as-you-go basics to its end users. So because EC2, I can say that to start with, I can say EC2 is all about server virtualization. So here when I launch it, everything is running here as a server virtualization. And I can say that it's up to end user. So you can see that this is server virtualization. See all the images that we have here. This is server virtualization. And with server virtualization, we get a virtually unlimited capacity of virtual machines that AWS something called as a instances. So that's why user can dynamically spin up these instances as and when required, perform the activity on them, and then shut down the same while getting billed only for the resources they consume. So that's why, as I told, EC2 is a highly scalable service, which means that you can scale up from just a couple of virtual servers to thousands of servers in just a matter of minutes. So all achieved by just clicking a single mouse button. So this scalability, because AWS is scalable, AWS is reliable, AWS provide high availability, and AWS provide redundancy, everything. So EC2 is scalable. And how it is scalable? Because it supports elasticity. What is elasticity? It's create elastic platform that can be used to perform virtually any task. You can think again. That's why Amazon EC2 is really awesome console that we have. Okay, let me go inside EC2, and we can see what are the things that he maintaining us. And most over, many people have asked about what is the use cases of Amazon EC2, because most of the people think that Amazon EC2 is only available for launching the instance and terminating the instance. That's all. So that's the thing they are thinking, but it is not really actually the same thing, because I can say that Amazon EC2 use cases, first use cases I can say most of the time we are going to see for hosting environment and second things we can use for backup and disaster recovery. And I can say and third use cases we can use it for HPC, high performance computing. High performance computing. So that's why you can see, first of all, when I go to hosting environment, I can say that because EC2 can be used for hosting a variety of applications, right? So he used to maintain variety of applications and software, websites, and the dynamic and scalable environment allows the compute capacity to grow along with application needs. And which console will give those flexibilities? EC2. And today I can say this organizations such as Netflix, Reddit, Ubisoft, and many more, they support, they are communicating with Amazon EC2 as their application hosting environments. So that's why. And we come to backup and disaster recovery, because EC2 can also be used as a medium for performing disaster recovery by providing active and passive environments that can be turned up quickly in case of an emergency, and thus resulting the faster failover with minimal downtime to applications. And moreover, many people say that EC2 cannot be done for backup and disaster. No, it's not something like that. It can be used, but I can say that at medium level, not that much high level. And I can say that it support HPC. HPC means what? High performance computing. Yes, sir. Because EC2 provides specialized virtualized servers. Okay, they provide high performance networking and compute power that can be, I can say, used to perform CPU intensive tasks such as big data analytics and the processing called NASA JPL and Pfizer. Some of the companies that they employ, they use HPC using Amazon EC2 instances. This is some use cases that Amazon EC2 had. Okay. Now come to more closer to Amazon EC2. So first of all, we need to understand here about images and instances. Because images and instances, you can see everything what we have here this is a console called AMI, called Amazon Machine Image. Everything here I can say this is called images, and via images I'm going to launch an instances. So to understand images and instances, because today all the IT organizations today run their workloads of the virtualization platform. I can say that truly that no organizations, okay, they are running what you say their workloads in their physical machines. Now everyone turn their informations to everyone putting the workload or in concept of virtualization platforms, just like VMware, vSphere, Citrix Zen Server, or even Microsoft Hyper-V, and AWS 2. Now AWS 2 got into the act but decided to modify a more of behalf self. That's why, as I told yesterday, AWS supports Zen virtualization, and it's because it is open source. Zen virtualization open source, and AWS they use Zen virtualization as a native virtualization engine, and like any other virtualization technology, this Zen virtualization platform was also used to spin up virtual machines using either some of the configuration files or some predefined templates. I can say in AWS vocabulary, these virtual machines come to known as instances, right? So, and you can see all the instances AWS has placed in their master templates, that's known as images. And images and instances are clubbed together in concept of AMI, that's called Amazon Machine Images. Now I can say, now you can realize that instances and images are nothing to you, nothing new to you. They are just, I can say, a fancy, I can say, names. Now, apart from this, then see actually the AWS images and instances are compared that our everyday virtual machines and templates. And because AWS has taken a lot of time, they put a lot of time and effort for the time-to-time designing and structuring these images and instances, such as they remain lightweight. So you can see these all images are running a lightweight process. These all images not running in heavyweight process as we are operating system. We have private data center, and they can spin up more quickly and can be ported easily from one place to another. So these factors makes a lot of difference when it comes to designing scalable and fault-tolerant application environments in the cloud. So and that's why. So let me go more closer to the images. First of all, let me understand more closer to the image. I can say that see as I already told that images, because image is nothing but I can say pre-configured templates. Because what is mean by pre-configured templates? Uh, because pre-configured templates is nothing but I can say that you can launch one or more instances from. But in AWS, we call these images. There's something called AMI, okay? So that's called Amazon Machine Images. Because what is this Amazon Machine Images? This Amazon Machine Images, and I can say that this because each AMI contains an operating system which can be ranged from any model Linux, even Windows servers, plus some additional software applications such as web server or some application server installed on it. And right, so that's why this AMI image. And don't think this AMI image. This is same as I can say that we have IS45 and IS45. Uh, and what is ISO file? You know that if you have ISO file, you can put it in your private data center like VMware VMware workstation, and you can launch operating system. It's the same as that. This is called ISO files we have. So it is important, however, to understand the couple of important things about Amazon Machine Images, because just like any other template, AMI are static in nature. Many people say it's just a dynamic in nature. No, it is static in nature, which basically means that once they are created, their state remains unchanged. Because you can spin up or launch multiple instances using single AMI and then perform any sort of modifications or alternations. I can say within the instance itself. There is also no restrictions on the size of instances that you can launch based on your AMI. Many people say there is a restrictions to that. No, no, no. We don't have restrictions. So you can select anything from the small instance for high instance, also called when you go to click on this one, and you can see any type of instance type you can select. For small from T2.micro, for high means it will go for M4, M3, G2 or 3 something like this. And you can go for this show hidden columns. You can see for more informations where you can able to see and click on this one. It will show all the architectures that you're looking for and just review thoroughly this management console, the instance type, and select the instance type based on your appropriate workload of the instances what we have. So what we can see here, we have different types of instances, right? Storage optimized based instances, memory optimized based instances, and then we have a compute optimized based instances. So like this AWS has categorized the instance type based on this and filter. If you don't have any idea about that, go for all instance type. It will be showing all instance types, and you can see you can able to catch up with all those instance types here. So how this process happens, you may be getting a lot of questions right now. As I told that there is no restrictions the size of instances that you can launch based on your AMI. You are free to select any instance type. You can select anything from the smallest instance from T2.micro, and you can go for largest instance. So the largest instance generally mean high performance computing. So this is how this AMI, because see, secondly, another thing you need to understand that AMI can contain certain launch permissions as well. Okay, these permissions can say dictate whether AMI can launch by anyone public or someone or some accounts which I specify for explicit, or even keep the AMI all to myself and not allow anyone to launch instances from it but me. That's for implicit. So we have launch permissions. Well, these all cases where some AMI can contain some of the proprietary software or license application, or which you do not want to share freely among the general public. So this all depends on you. In this case, because you know that because these permissions comes in hand, real handy, and you can alternatively even create something called a paid AMI. This feature allows you to share your AMI to the general public. However, I can see with some support costs associated with that, and that's why. And I'm just taking closely to one more console called AMI can be brought and sold right using something called AWS Marketplace. Yeah. So when I go to this instance, let me go launch instance, and here we have AWS Marketplace. What is this AWS Marketplace? This is, I can say, a one-stop shop for all your AMI needs. And AMIs are categorized according to their contents, and so you as an end user can choose and launch instances of any of them. And because you can see we have a lot of software developer tools or business softwares available here and categorized into different things. So you can go inside and you can stick with those application, third-party application with your instances, and you can able to have it. Okay, and for more information, you can go to this URL and you can able to catch up those informations more on AWS Marketplace. So when go to this AWS Marketplace, and you can see a lot of stuff is going on here, and you can see popular categories, operating systems. Oh my God! So you can see huge numbers of application, huge numbers of this distribution software support AWS has give. Really, this is actually the outstanding stuff. But you can see for all Windows products, and this is for all Linux products. So you can able to you make use of these types of applications inside your operating system and makes him more reliable, more strong in implementations and configuration. This is something done by AWS Marketplace, and this is stick with Amazon EC2 AMI. So here, so that's why because these things are stick with Amazon EC. That's why as I told Amazon EC2 is a powerful console, and that's why okay, when just remember Amazon itself has released their own operating system, as I told earlier in our session that they have released Amazon Linux AMI. What is mean by that? Because see why this operating system, as I told, this is a good one compared to Red Hat Enterprise 7.4 or Ubuntu, because Amazon Linux AMI is a specially created lightweight Linux-based image that is supported and maintained AWS itself, and the image is based off the Red Hat Enterprise Linux distribution, which is basically means that you can execute almost any and all RSC-based commands such as CM and system config. And the images also comes pre-packaged with a lot of essential tools and libraries that allow easy integration of AMI with other AWS services. All in all, everything from the YAM repos and all AMI security and patching is taken care by AWS itself. And just remember, what is another use of going for AWS, this Amazon Linux AMI, is that Amazon Linux AMI comes no additional cost. You only have to pay for the running instances that are created from it. And you can just remember that that's why Amazon Linux AMI it's a wonderful platform operating system that AWS has created for those purposes. And this is far more better Linux operating system, I guess, compared to Red Hat or Ubuntu or CentOS. Okay, so this is how images have come. When it comes to launch instances, I can say, because you can so far, again, we have just talking about images, right? So now let me move a little bit to instances. See, just remember that I can say that each instances, right? What is instances? That this image is converted to be instances when I'm launching the operating system. So see, each instances comes a set of own resources, namely CPU, memory, storage, and network, which are differentiated by something called instance families or instance types. Let me show here. When I click on this one, you can see we have different instance family, instance type. So when you first launch an instance, you need to specify instance type. Right, so we need to specify the instance type, and this will determine the amount of resources that your instance will obtain throughout its life cycle. And just remember, AWS currently, I can say that supports more than 5 instance type families, which are first is general purpose. So you can see here, this is the general purpose one. And what is see, this is important to understand that in which situation you have to use these general purpose instances. and compute optimized instances. So in general purpose instance, I can say, because this group of instances is, I can say, for average usages, for average users, day-to-day balanced instances. Why balance? Because they provide good mix of this general purpose instances. They provide good use of mix of CPU and memory and disk space, and most applications can, I can say, stick with this while not compromising on the performance, because this general purpose group compromises the commonly used instance such as T2.micro, you can see here, and you can do T2.small, T2.medium, and M4, M3 families, and so on. So this family, you can say that here M4, M3. So that's why this family contains instance types can go CPU range from one processor, 1 GB RAM, to 40 processors, and it will go to 160 GB of RAM. That's something called M4 10X large. So this is how this is general purposes. When come to this compute optimized base instances, I can say, as the name suggests, these are the specialized group of instances that are commonly used for CPU intensive applications. I'm looking for great CPU performance. I should go for compute optimized, because the group of organizations they'll be focusing more on the CPU power, right? So the likes, we have different families called C4, C3. On an average, this family contains instances from 2 processor to 2.75 GB RAM, and it will go to 36 processors, you can see, and go to 60 GB of RAM. There's something called C4.8X large. So like this, the AWS has designed based on your requirement. And come to here, memory optimized. Suppose you're looking for more RAM processing power, similar to compute optimized. Here also, this family compromises instances that consume more RAM and then processor, ideally like databases and analytical applications like Hadoop, HDFS, all for big data, all falls into this category. And this group consists of single instance like R3 dot instances, and you can see the range. It goes something like 2 processor and 15.25 GB RAM, and it will go to 32 processor and something called 244 GB of RAM. Like this, it will go, and this is very huge for memory. This is very huge in case to compare about the processor. RAM is very huge, and that's a memory optimized. And something you're looking for storage means you can go for storage optimized, because this family of instance compromises specialized instances that provide fast storage access and writes using SSD drives. That is called solid state drives. And when it comes to storage optimized, these instances are also used for high input output performance and high disk, can say, throughput applications. So the group also compromises this storage optimized 2 main instances like I2 and D2. You can see I2 and D2, and I can say that here this does not have anything to with or we have one more to R2 or D2, because these instances can provide SSD enabled storages, something called 800 GB and all the way to 48 terabytes, so something called D2 8X large. Go to for here, you can see D2 8X large. When it comes to storage point of, they provide 48 terabyte of storages, and that is very impressive. When it comes to this GPU-based instances, right? GPU-based instance can say this is similar to compute optimized family, because the GPU instances are specially designed for handling high CPU intensive tasks by using specialized NVIDIA GPU cards. That you understand that NVIDIA, because this instance family generally used for applications that require video encoding, machine learning, or 3D region rendering, and so on. So this group consists of single instance type called G2. And it can be, I can say that it can average CPU between 1 GPU to 4 GPUs, like this they have. So like this is called different instance types we have in Amazon EC2. And the images. This is how I discussed with you with the images and instances. So that is why, just remember, AWS EC2 supports close to 38 instance types totally, each of their own instance and pros and cons. We have pros and cons here. I'm not telling every instance is best. We have a pros and cons. And I can say in such times, it actually becomes really difficult for end user to decide which instance types is right for their application. And the easiest and most common approach and take is to pick up one of the closest instance type that match your application set of requirement. For example, Suppose it would be ideal to install a simple MongoDB databases or memory optimized instance rather than go to compute or GPU optimized instances. Not the compute optimized instances as a wrong choice, I can say, or anything. But it makes more sense to go for memory in such cases rather than just burst processor. From this, I'm telling my perspective point of view. You maybe have different ideas. So we can go for like this. We can go based on those ideas, and we can make our application to run balancedly and our instances to run smoothly. So this is how the Amazon EC2 and images. So that's why I discussed with you. And just remember that Amazon EC2 is, if you can say that, the pricing options, right? Suppose someone asked me that, okay, you are discussing about the instance type, you're telling about AMI, what about the pricing? I can say that when anyone comes inside EC2, they have to understand the pricing options, what's going on here. See, apart from the various instance types, EC2 also provide 3 convenience instance pricing options to choose from, namely on-demand, some called reserve and spot instances like this. So we come to this EC2 pricing. I come to EC2 pricing options. First of all, we need to understand. First, we need to understand about these on-demand instances, because we have connected on-demand instances. So we have different types of instances, like on-demand instances. We have reserve instances. Then we have spot instances. So like this, we have this is called EC2 instance types, and which one is best? You need to select it. Which plan is best? Then come to on-demand instances. Where is that? And all this button instances. This is on-demand. This is pretty much the most commonly used instance deployment method. The on-demand instances are created only when you require them. Hence, the term called on-demand. What is meant by that? On-demand pay-as-you-go model. On-demand means these instances are priced by hour with no upfront payments or commitment required by you. So this is, I can say, this is truly a pay-as-you-go payment method that we always end up with mentioning when yesterday's class we talk about the clouds. So these are the standard manipulation resources that are ready to whenever you request them and can be shut down anytime during it and shift. So how much you're consuming the resource, that much you're going to pay to AWS. So that's called something called on-demand instances. So by default, you can have a maximum of 20 such as on-demand instances launched with single AWS account at a time. Many people will reject this, but that's the truth. You can have maximum of 20 on-demand instances for AWS account at a time. Suppose if you wish to have more such instances, then you can call AWS customer care support and you can get help from those things. And just see a good use case for such instances can be application any unpredictable workloads such as gaming website or social website. In this case, you can leverage the flexibility of on-demand instances, accompany lower cost, and I can say lower cost to pay for the compute capacity you need to, and use not more than that. So just remember, on-demand instance cost that is based on whether your underlying operating system Linux or Windows, as well as the regions they are deployed in. And next is, that's why I can say this is good. When come to reserve these types of instances, these types of instances need to call reserve instances. So I can say, see, deploying instances using on-demand model, but had one slight drawback. Okay, what is the slight drawback? We have here. I can say when I'm purchasing these reserve instances, which so the thing is, which is that AWS does not guarantee deployment of your instances. You may ask me why. Well, to put it simply, see, using on-demand model, you can create and terminate instances, I can say, on to go without having to make any commitment whatsoever. So it is up to AWS to match this dynamic requirement and make sure that accurate capacity is present in your data centers at all the times. But however, in few and rare cases, this does not happen. That when AWS will fail to power on can say on your on-demand instances. In such cases, you are better off by using something called reserve instances, where AWS actually guarantees your instance with resource capacity reservations and significantly lower cost as compared to on-demand model. So that's why we can choose here. You can see we can choose which platform we need, and we can choose which instance type I need. So you can choose between the three payment options when you purchase these reserve instances. That's the payment option here. That's called no upfront, partial upfront, all upfront, light utilization, medium utilization. So you can choose the pay so like upfront cost, right? All upfront costs or the full payment itself for reserving your instance at minimum a period of year and maximum up to 3 years we can able to do it. So that's why. So when considering the cost between these two, then come to no upfront or partial upfront or come to all upfront, you can save because when we purchase these things from AWS reserve instances, when come to the on-demand instances, suppose I'm going for no upfront, savings on on-demand instance will be 31%. When come to partial upfront here, when I'm selecting, and savings on demand will be 32%. When come to all upfront, I'll be saving for me on-demand instance is 34%. So that's why. So you may ask me, oh, you are telling everything disadvantage about reserving. What is the advantage here? There is advantage. What is the because reserve instances are the best option when the application loads are steadily and consistent. In such cases, suppose where you don't have to worry about unpredictable workloads and spikes, you can reserve a bunch of instances in EC2 and end up saving on additional costs. So that is why in that situation, reserve instance is best for us. There is one more thing is going on here, something called spot instances. When to use the spot instances for us? See, actually, spot instances allow you to bid for unused EC2 compute capacity, and these instances were specially created to address a simple problem of excessive EC2 capacity in AWS. So that is why. So how does all it works? The question is, because well, it is just like your bidding, you are just other bidding system, because AWS sets hourly price for a particular spot instance that can change as demand for spot instance either grow or shrinks. So you as an end user have to place a bid on those for spot prices, and I can say, and when your bid exceeds, right? When your bid exceeds that of your current spot price, your instances are then made to run. It is important to also note that these instances will stop the moment someone else outbids you. So host your application accordingly. Ideally, applications that are non-critical in their nature, they do not require large processing time, such as images, resizing operations, or ideally runs on spot instances. So that's why, because spot instances complement the reserve and on-demand instances. Hence, ideally, I can say you should use mixture of spot instances working on demand reserve instances, just to be sure that your application has a compute capacity or standby in case they needs it. That is why you can able to select. You can select here. You can see the hourly price, how they need spot instances, and based on that hourly prices, you are going to bid the price and you are going to just say purchase from AWS. So this is how three types of things we have MS on EC2. This is something called EC2 pricing options, that is on-demand instance, reserve instance, and spot instances. I hope up to this you understand about the instances, because there is a lot more things to understand about instances. So because if you keep this momentum to go like this, it will we will be so I will be talking on this whole night. So I will be talking to up to this more than 10 hours extra, or just say extra. So like that, like make it understand all those concepts. Right now, I hope you understand all those things. Now it's time for us to have question answer sessions, and now you are free to ask me questions in the chat messages. Yes, I'm waiting for your questions. Please go ahead. Okay, so one question asks, can we use CLI automation instead of regular tasks? See, actually CLI, so when using CLI, automation is not 100%, okay? When using CLI, automation will be, what is a little bit low. So when we connect some tools like Jenkins or Ansible or SaltStack, So zip lanes, when I go to make use of those tools, it will be the complete automation process. But in CLI, you can have some automations, but not that much strong way. Okay, next question is how to configure fresh instances by AWS CLI. See, actually, I have given you some examples. So based on that examples, please work out on CLI. You'll be getting how to launch the instances. For moreover, if you want more help, I'm from Zeedup Technology, so I will surely help you to give you complete CLI information on that. Next question is how can learn scripts Python and use CLI, because nowadays automation is going on. Basically we are not coders. See, actually, see, automation is the one is not a right one for you to have it, because first of all you need to understand the complete sysop architectures, and that is the solution operation architecture for AWS. That's the first thing. After you understand the total infrastructure of the AWS, you can go for your next level of automation or maybe developer option. So right now, don't need to break, no need to break our head on this one. Like on this, that I need to learn automation, I need to learn scripts and all. Go step by step. See, you have to take baby steps, right? You have to take baby steps. Then you can able to you can take the good decisions what to do for next. So straight away don't go for automations or don't go for any scripting. Just take baby steps and go one by step. Then you will be understanding you can achieve that level. Okay, next question is I think you got some errors from that. See, actually, okay, so I got one more thing. Okay. So next is you ask me, I'm unable to download the package, and yeah, because you have to, yes, because you are unable to download the package. So please check whether that package that is available for you, because I don't know what type of operating system you're using here. You may be using Red Hat or maybe CentOS or Ubuntu or Fedora or maybe Zaps like or Scientific Linux. So be sure that you have proper Linux, that is you have connected here, and that will be work for you. And who will manage server licenses and how to track the AWS instances event logs. AWS instances and event logs, everything stored in Amazon CloudWatch, where you can able to keep track of everything is stored. So Amazon CloudWatch have two things. One is detailed monitoring, one is basic monitoring. When it comes to Amazon EC2 instances, so he keep track of everything in basically. Where is that? When I click on that instance, go to here, you can see CloudWatch, and this is a basic monitoring is already enabled, that has 0% of expense. When you enable the detailed monitoring, AWS Amazon CloudWatch will give you more details of what are the metrics, that what are the things happens inside the particular instance EC2, and where you can able to manage those event logs. And who will manage server licenses? AWS will manage the server licenses. From your side, no need to install any server licenses. See, there are two types of things in cloud. One is BYOD, bring your own license. Okay, and otherwise they will provide the license. So in case of launching instances, just leave everything in hands of AWS. They will maintain, they will take care about that. Next question is how can I log using some other user instead of EC2 users on AWS? See, actually EC2 user is a default user for Amazon operating system, that is called Linux operating system. And if you click on this one, here it's AWS has given EC2/user. So EC2/user is a default name that AWS has gave, and you can do that by changing some things in PuTTY. Inside going PuTTY, and you can make some changes also instead of that. So we have a set of options to do that. But what I recommended you to go for EC2 user, and that will be there. So just like we have a Windows like administrator. So like this. Next question. AWS Cloud Formation, yeah, I'm right. So AWS Cloud Formation is automation category, yes. So next one is I'm using AWS. What is INC? Okay, so download the Python backend. Getting above error. See, already I have. You can see already I have connected with Amazon here. So see everything, because this is the package that I have given. So you can check the packages whether you have given the correct path or not. If you missed any slash or any spelling mistake, means you cannot able to get connected. So make sure that you have connected with the proper path. So all are getting error means there is a problem with the path, I think. So just keep look of this one. This is the path, and please, if you have any if you have any errors, means please rectify it and solve it here. I got next question. When will the video? Okay. Yesterday video will be uploaded. Because today you will get both videos. Today's class video and yesterday's class video you will be getting shortly. Thank you. And what is the purpose of bundle task under images? Yeah. See, actually, the bundle task that you have asked in here, because see, actually, yesterday I told you how to create an image, right? So, because when you create an AMI image, because what will happen, you can able to launch that image in the setup. Because see, bundle task is nothing but see, it is because it is listed only in the what is a limited time. If your bundle task is no longer in the list, you can still register in those images from AMI. For that purposes, AWS has given the bundle task. And just remember that having this bundle task means, see, every AMI image that you're creating has to register with AMI, right? And suppose what are the task is completed or listed in one limited time. If your bundle task is no longer in the list, so in that time you need to register with AMI, as I told. And moreover, the things, this bundle task will be activated when you have more number of AMI images that you have we have bundled. So in this case, that bundle task will be there. And I can say there is one more purpose of that AWS bundle task, because you are bundling. Suppose here I can say that suppose you have some unified tools, because see, Amazon calls the creation of AWS bundling. You can say that we can say cloning or imaging, right? We can say cloning, or because to bundle a new AMI, we have to first launch an instance. Before you create an image, you need to probably want to configure the operating system and install your software. If the instance is in Windows, then bundling quite easy, but it's a bit long-winded. This is just cloning and taking image. That's the purpose of bundles I have. Okay, yeah. So I have asked a bundle instance. You will be receiving the next is, can I migrate the running instance from one region to another? See, actually, the thing is a migration process. I can say that yesterday you can take snapshots. Okay, you can take snapshots and forward from one region to next. Okay, see, what is migration? Migration is nothing but changing your old OS and convert to new one without losing your data. So that take snapshots and forward to another region and make use of that. So you can see this because as we have seen in a private data center, the migration process is something easy. But running instance, take snapshot and send another one region to next region and make use of. That's the only available things what we have. And it is supported cluster concept. Next is is this supported cluster concept, or how to add a raw disk? Actually, I can say that cluster concept and all, everything is what is a transparent to user, but still you can able to add more disk, you can able to add more storages inside running instances. So that is something taken care by AWS data center itself. I have suppose I have given suppose I have reset root password, disable the user privileges in will group, so easy to user won't be able to sudo command. Okay, unfortunately I forget the root password. How to recover the instance? Yeah, that's a good question. See, suppose you're forgetting the root password and you have disabled that one, so it is possible to recover by connecting the secondary storages for see, yeah, I had to launch one more Linux and I had to disconnect that Linux which I lost the password, root password. I need to connect it to secondary hard disk, and then I can able to make those changes. But running handy, it is not possible. When come to how to instance cloud era, how to instance cloud easy to move from Hadoop edge locations local to AWS. Actually, Hadoop edge locations and local to AWS. This is something you are what you are coming to ask. Really, I'm not understand this question. I'm extremely sorry. Can able to retype it and send it back again. Okay. Why we are installing Python? Yes, Python is a default repository file that we have in because that package is only recognized AWS CLI tool. That's why we are installing that. And next is to ask if access ID key secretly AWS connect anyone. Yeah, because that's the thing. Because I do access ID key and share access revealed by anyone, they can able to connect with AWS. They can create a security problem. So that's why keep your access ID key and secret key safe. The next question is how often rotating the keys can be done by you as well as can be done by AWS. So suppose so I will be explaining more on rotating keys when I'm coming from identity and access management point of view. So that have day number 3 classes. We will be connecting that, and I'll be explaining that how to configure the rotating keys. Next question is how to migrate this service from native data center cloud. Yeah, we have that what we do AWS. Import export VM import export tool. So using that VM import export tool, we can able to migrate from our private systems to AWS cloud. Yeah, so you can say what is the relationship between instance and AMI? Inside AMI only we have instance, right? So instance AMI is a template for holding all the instances. You can see. So when I go to launch instance, this AMI is a template for holding all the instance. So inside that instance, inside AMI, I'm going to launch instance. So there is a deep relation between instance and AMI. Yes. So next, yeah. So I have got this much of questions. See what are the questions you're asking? Some questions are practical wise, some questions are theory wise. What are the questions you're asking practical wise? Those things can be shared, can be explained with you when we are connecting regular classes for AWS. So here, apart from also keeping all the doubts in your mind and searching for answer, when we connect as a class, a specific class or online class with for AWS solution architecture with SysOps. So I'm in good position to clear all the doubts practically because in this session we have a less time to discuss everything. So I appreciate your questions that you're asking. It's really absolutely remarkable. So more things, more practical things that you ask in Linux. So I will be explaining more things when we connecting the AWS certification classes. And next question, so I got one big question. Okay, one question is, suppose my Linux instance is crashed and my website is hosting on their server. So how can I recover it? Because all metadata is root and verified, okay, not attached. So how can I recover those conditions? See, your Linux machine is crashed and you're not able to access this one. There is a recovery for that because, as I told that Linux machine have ability to read all types of file systems, maybe Linux or maybe Windows. Then you can able to connect it back. So what are which Linux machine instance is lost? You can able to make use of that storages, make use of that instances by connecting as a secondary storages inside another Linux machine, and you can able to recover from those. That's why I told these are the questions that you have. We will be handing to when we are starting our classes for AWS, and practically I will teach you how to do that. So see, actually the question that you're asking is a real time and real environment question. So that has to be implemented in systematic way. If I say everything theoretically, then you people maybe get confused, and the confusion may continue. So that is why these are questions is real-time questions. So that will be done with proper cloud labs. But I will answer, there's a possibilities there. Yes. So next is difference between private and public cloud. Yes, because private cloud is nothing but running. Because private cloud is just like what we have running in your LAN network. How your LAN network is, so same as that you can convert as a private and come to public cloud. Public cloud is already connected and running. So no need to worry about public because private is secure and safe compared to public. So most of the time when we connect AWS, we're going for only the private cloud. And what's the difference? Instance-based storage and EBS storage. Instance-based storage is based on Amazon S3, and EBS-based storage is is something also from S3, but EBS based storage is the one that's not supported by all instances AWS has given. Come to here, when I go to here, you can see instance based storage and EBS based storages. And when come to instance based storage, this is specifically for Amazon S3. When come to major difference between these storage, I can say that instance based storage and EBS based storages. When you're launching something, some instances based storages, the boot time. We have to keep the difference between the boot time. We need to keep the difference between the pricing, the pricing list of this one, and also we need to keep the difference. I can say short the difference between these two. When we come to this EBS based, uh, it is present in EBS itself. When come to instance based, it is present in instance itself. And next one, I can say that when it comes to disk size and limit, in EBS big is up to 16 TB terabytes. 16 terabytes supported. When it comes to instance-based storages, disk size is up to 10 GB. When it comes to data persistence, in EBS back, data is persistent even after instance is terminated. When it comes to instance-based backup, data only persists during the life cycle of the instance. When it comes to boot time, when it comes to EBS back, less than a minute. Only the parts of AMI that are required for boot process or retrieve for the instance to make ready. And come to instance-based storage, boot time, only 5 minutes. And when come to cost, in EBS big, you are charged for running instance plus EBS volume charge. When come to cost in instance-based storages, I can say you are charged for running instance plus storage cost in this in accord by Amazon S3. That's the difference between those two. What are the user accounts type available in AWS console? See, actually, AWS is a service provider. Okay, he's not operating system, or he's providing the services via remote location. So so there are a lot of, we have basic types when we're creating AWS accounts by linking a credit card. That is feature support, enterprise support, basic user support, developer support, everything he's going to ask you. So maybe you're asking that type of user account. Apart from that, AWS does not have any user account types. So user types available: basic support, developer support, enterprise support. Apart from basic support, every other account type has to pay $49. When can you explain Windows licensing AWS? See, Windows licensing, as I already told that don't worry about the licensing in Windows because when you're launching the instance here via AMI, AWS automatically patches the licenses, everything for us. So no need to worry about the licenses. So suppose I'm launching the Windows instance, for example, suppose going for services, suppose I'm launching the Windows instance, you can able to see here. Suppose okay, I have deleted that, but let me launch and show you. So let this instance launch, and I will be showing about how the license is actually implemented. The question is, I created a Windows server and configured a website SQL application. Suddenly, you are not able to take RDP, and telling application but application will work. I checked AWS console AMS node how to recover data C drive and data contain EBS or D drive. See, actually the thing is in AWS you can able to if your instance stops working, okay, your instance stops working, this does not mean that your the instance storage is also will stop work. You can make use of instance storage and you can attach those instance storage in another instance that is running. So if you are creating a volumes, and this volumes you can see in use, right? So suppose I'm launching the instance here, and there is one option called, you have to select this one. This is when this is delete on termination. When you remove this option, delete on termination, that AWS if the instance, if this operating system gets terminated, but what will happen, that partitions that you created will not be get terminated. We can make use of that partition by attaching into another OS, and we can able to recover the data. Okay, next question is instance stores and EBS. I already told how to bring my own Windows license and add by instances. See, actually, as I already told that no need to bring your own license and add. If you want to bring your own license and add, then because BYOD, bring your own license, will be most of the time available for databases. Most of the time not available for instance space. Come to this yesterday itself, I told difference between NAT instance and NAT gateway. And next question, can I share Windows EBS volumes? Yes, we can able to share with your physical machine with instance machines. That suppose I'm launching, I show an example here. So the answer for this question is, suppose you're asking inside AWS or outside AWS. Suppose you want to launch the particular instance with my physical machine. Suppose I'm connecting here and get password. Okay, so if inside means I need to have a private connectivity between two instances. Outside means I will go for this one. I will go for MSTSC, and there I can go to show options, go to local resource. I will be connecting these drives here. Okay, so I'm going to copy the endpoint of that instance here. I'm going to copy the endpoint of this instance here. So I'm going to copy the public IP, and when I connect this instance, then what will happen? My physical machine storages will be connected with my instance storages. So for that, let me launch this one. Okay, prepare, and I'm using testing. So decrypt the password. Okay, so copy that password. So now just connect it, and he'll be asking this type user name and copy the password. Yes. So now it is launching here. So after launching here, you can see my physical machine drives will be mapped inside my AWS. This instance, inside this instance, you'll be able to see here. So I go to this PC, you can see here. This is my instance drive. Yeah. You can see the slowly these drives are detecting here, and that's a drive that what I have in my physical machine. So it will be detecting slowly all the drives. So what you can able to open it, and you can able to copy and paste it here. So there is a communication. If you're asking in different way that how to configure with two instances running in AWS, that's something different process. That is not this process. So that will be so. So I want to make clear that question. I want to have a clear testing of that question. So because up to this I understand that question. Next is any possibility on AWS whatever I have configured on Linux server, it will be auto-replicated. No, a single availability zone. Other availability zone means you need to do something by manually. When can explain EFS and EBS? EFS elastic file system and EBS elastic block storages. EFS is a storage that is specifically designed by NFS version NFS network file server, and EBS storage is a specific design storage for Amazon EC2 instances. So these two storages are there, which is this is something EBS storage and EFS. So you can see here EFS and EBS storage running inside that. And this elastic file system is a storage that is specifically designed by called NFS. That is based on that NFS that runs on Linux machines. And moreover, I can say that when come to elastic file system and EBS. So elastic file system, nothing but it's a simple scalable file storage for using Amazon EC2 instances here in AWS, because Amazon EFS EC2 use and is differ. I can say I can create a file systems here, and you can see here file to default VPC, which one I can select, and I can say that it allows you to create and configure file systems quickly and easily. And with Amazon EFS, storage capacity is elastic, so growing and shrinking automatically as you can add more, add, remove files. So your applications have storage they need and when they need it. So when mounted on Amazon EC2 instance, when this EFS mounted Amazon instance, this Amazon EFS file system provides a standard file system interface and file system access semantics, allowing you to seamlessly integrate Amazon EFS with your existing applications and tools. And multiple Amazon EC2 instances can be accessed Amazon EFS file system at the same time, and allowing this EFS to provide common data source for workflows or application running on more than one Amazon EC2 instances. So this is why this there's called EFS and EBS storages. And come to share between Windows instance in AWS, yeah, because I already told that we can share Windows instance in AWS. So that's yeah, we can share between to two Windows that is running in AWS Marathon, so not physically. How next question, how can enable and configure your own firewalls security policy? That's something done by security groups that I have also already discussed yesterday. So you need to go for security groups and you can configure that. Next question is that when we delete EC2 Linux instance data stored in EBS alive, we can launch EC2 instance previous. No, let me repeat the question. When we delete EC2 instance data stored in EBS, we can launch EC2 Linux instance. Yeah, it is possible. Yes, absolutely possible. How it is possible? We need to do those practically. Sharing drives between Windows instance. Yeah, we can do that. How to mount EFS on Windows instances? Yeah, so we can. So mounting, as I told, EFS on Windows instances, that is something done by a set of things. So how to mount that? In order to do that, see, because this concept is seamless integration and fully managed services, and also Amazon EC2 instance running on multiple availability zone within the same region can access the file system. So many users can access share common data source. It is possible to do that. And the thing is, you are asking the command. So how to mount EFS volumes on Windows instance? See, actually, in order to mount EFS volumes on Windows instance, so basically you have to understand what is found, right? So because when come to mount of EFS on EC2, so what we have to do, we have to open the EC2 on the browser, we have to launch instance, and then in order to do that, because mounting a file system means most of the time we go for NFS support, and NFS support means what versions you have, NFS version 4.1 or 4.0. Based on that, you can able to do that. And based on that, most of the time I'll be giving more support for Linux to in order to mount that one. First of all, we need to do NFS support. We have to install NFS client, and then we need to go for the mount options inside that. The next is how can share Amazon EBS storage with local network access. That's why how to share Amazon EBS storage with local network. That's why I've already told that. See, you want to bring the AWS Amazon EC2 out of AWS network. You need to do something by connecting your private remote desktop connection. Yeah, Glacier is a long-term storages, right? So it will store data. It will store all the information as a cold data, and you can access the data within 3 years. Up to 3 years, they're going to maintain. After 3 years, they're going to delete your data. So within the 3 years, you can set all those lifecycle policy configuration for S3 buckets. And what is storage gateway? Yeah, because I can say the storage gateway this is another major concept that we are getting struck all the time, because this comes under major things in AWS, because we always make use of uh, the S3 storages and Amazon S3, Amazon Glacier. See the storage gateway that connects on-premises software application with cloud-based storage to integrate your existing on-premise application with AWS storage infrastructure in seamless. And it is transparent fashion. And also data stored in your current data center can be backed up by Amazon S3 where it is stored as Amazon EBS snapshots. So once that you will be benefit from Amazon S3 how low cost and intrinsic redundancy in the event of you need to retrieve backup of your data, you can easily restore this snapshot locally to your on-premises hardware. You can also access this Amazon EPS forums, enabling to easily mirror data between on-premises EC2 based applications. That's a storage gateway. The thing is, I don't think it is possible to mount EFS volumes right now because I mean, it was about NFS. See, actually, uh, we have something called interoperability of NFS. So because interoperability between Windows Linux and Linux to Windows. So in our private data center, what we have SMB versions like SMB version 4, SMB version 3, and that's a Samba server. So it is possible to, in order to mount with particular things to Windows by having interoperability of Linux machines inside Windows. So that we need to we need to understand in server machines, not in client machines. So that's we need to understand that. Okay, I hope today you understand all those concepts. What are things we have explained to you, and also you understand the settings. What are things we have today we have gone through. Anyway, you will be getting this recorded version of this class video uh, inside uh, inside your maybe the link you will be getting as soon as possible. Yesterday video and today video, and you can make use of that. And thank you so much. We'll be connecting back for the third session, AWS Marathon number 3 classes, same time tomorrow. Thank you so much and take care. Bye bye.